Hey everyone, it's Luke here from LT Gaming and welcome to all you Civilization fans. With Civilization VII on the horizon, it's a perfect time to look back and rank every Civilization game that brought us to this point. From the classic titles that laid the foundation to the bold experiments that took the series in new directions, we'll explore what made each game stand out and where they might have missed the mark. One quick caveat here, that is I have only included the mainline Civilization games. I haven't included Civilization Call to Power or Call to Power 2 for example, and I did exclude the mobile only Civilization Revolutions 2. Whether you're a veteran strategist or new to the series, this list will help you through the evolution of Civilization as I see it. Of course, everyone has their own favourite, so if your ranking differs, that's perfectly fine, it's all part of the fun, so let's dive in. Civilization Beyond Earth takes the series into the final frontier, space. As a spiritual successor to Alpha Centauri, this game shifts the traditional Civ gameplay to an alien world, where humanity must build a new future. While the concept is intriguing, it didn't quite resonate with the core Civ fanbase as much as other entries. On the pro side, we have a fresh sci-fi setting, an affinity system that adds depth to the gameplay, and exploration of a truly alien world. However, to counter that, we have a total lack of identity. Despite its fresh setting, Beyond Earth feels like a reskin of Civ V. There's an underwhelming narrative and definitely missed potential. While Civilization Beyond Earth had the ambition to push the series into new territory, it ultimately didn't live up to the high standards set by other Civilization games. Its fresh setting and interesting mechanics couldn't fully compensate for the lack of a compelling narrative and the feeling that it was more of an expansion than a standalone title. It's an intriguing experiment, but it lands at the bottom of our list. Civilization Revolution marks a significant shift in the series, designed specifically for consoles and mobile platforms. With streamlined gameplay and a more accessible approach, it brought the Civilization experience to a broader audience. While it may not have the depth of its PC counterparts, Civilization Revolution is a fun and engaging entry that successfully adapts the core Civ mechanics to new platforms. And of course, the simplified mechanics do allow for that accessible gameplay, fast-paced games, and a pretty cool overall visual style. It's vibrant and cartoonish, but it appeals to that wider audience. However, on the con side, there is a lack of depth which comes with the streamlined gameplay, limited replayability, and it's definitely not for the long-time hardcore Civ fan. Civilization Revolution succeeds in bringing the essence of the Civilization series to consoles and mobile devices, making it a great entry point for new players. However, its lack of depth and complexity compared to the other titles in the series keeps it from ranking higher. It's a fun, accessible game, but one that's ultimately overshadowed by its more intricate counterparts. The original Civilization is where it all began. Released in 1991, the groundbreaking game laid the foundation for the entire genre: explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate. Sid Meier's vision of guiding a civilization from the dawn of time to the space age captured the imagination of players worldwide. Though primitive by today's standards, it's a classic that sets the stage for everything that followed. With innovative gameplay that introduced the 4X strategy genre, historical significance, and endless replayability, the game really struck a chord upon release. However, by today's standards, of course, the mechanics are outdated, the graphics are simplistic, and there's still a steep learning curve despite its simplicity. I managed to get a version working this week, and honestly, it's still a fun title. While Civilization deserves immense credit for being one of the first games to pioneer the 4X genre, and establishing the core mechanics that define the series, it's understandably outclassed by later games that refined and expanded on its ideas. Its historical significance earns it a respectable spot on the list, but its dated gameplay and visuals keep it from climbing higher. Civilization VI is the most recent entry into the series, and it brought several new ideas and a bold visual style change to the franchise. With features like unstacking cities, more complex diplomacy, and district-based city planning, Civ VI aimed to refine and expand upon the core gameplay that fans love. Despite its innovations, it has been a divisive entry, with some praising its depth and others criticising certain design choices. On the pro side, and something I really enjoy, is the district system, which adds a new layer of strategy to city building, making terrain and placement more important than ever. However, on the con side, in later versions you had very overcomplicated mechanics, really poor AI that a lot of players called out, and on the Nintendo Switch performance issues that make the game basically unplayable. Civilization VI is a bold and visually stunning entry in the series that introduces significant gameplay innovations. However, its complexity, AI issues, and mixed reception among fans keep it from reaching the top tier. It's a game with a lot to offer, especially for those who appreciate its intricate systems, but it doesn't quite capture the magic of the series' best. Civilization III marked a significant evolution for the series, introducing several key mechanics that have since become staples in the franchise. Released in 2001, this entry expanded on the gameplay of its predecessors with new features like culture, resources, and unique units for each civilization, adding layers of strategy and depth that help solidify Civilization's place as a leading strategy series. Honestly guys, it's hard to forget the excitement having been a huge Civilization II player as a kid when this game was announced and was coming out and I went to pick up my boxed copy in 2001. Did PC gaming ever get more exciting than that? For those of us that remember, we truly know. On the pro side, the game introduced a new culture system that added a new dimension to gameplay. There were strategic resources, which were a new concept at the time, and unique units for each civilization, which kept the gameplay fresh and interesting. However, the diplomatic AI was pretty poor overall. There were definitely some balance issues, and now looking back, the graphics are definitely dated, although serviceable as I've been playing it this week. Civilization III was a landmark entry that introduced several key features to the series, enhancing the strategic depth and replayability of the game. The introduction of innovative systems cannot be overlooked, particularly culture and strategic resources. They laid the groundwork for future titles, making it one of the most influential entries in the series. However, while it remains a fan favourite, it doesn't quite reach the heights of the top 3 games on our list. However, if you do pick up a copy, I was able to get it working on super widescreen with a little fix, and if you need to know that, jump into the Discord and I'll see if I can help you out. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button, leave us a comment about what you're thinking, and subscribe to the channel. You can also support LT Gaming by hitting that join button below the video and joining our Discord. Both me and Tom really appreciate all the interaction. Civilization V is often considered a turning point for the series, introducing major changes that reshape the core gameplay. Released in 2010, it brought the series into a new era with a completely overhauled combat system, a hexagonal grid, and the removal of unit stacking, forcing players to rethink their strategies. The game's focus on accessibility combined with depth make it a standout entry that remains beloved by many. The switch to a hex-based grid system allowed for more strategic movement and positioning, making combat and exploration more nuanced. However, players like me did miss stacking a little bit. There was also a streamlined interface and a thriving modding community. However, on the con side, the vanilla version at launch was pretty basic and honestly just didn't work for me half the time. I could never get the clouds to load, and I did see that remained a problem on my modern system to this day. There were definitely AI challenges and performance issues. Overall, Civilization V revolutionized the series with its bold changes to combat and gameplay mechanics, offering a fresh and engaging experience that remains highly regarded. Although it had its flaws, especially in the base version, the expansions and modding community have helped Civ V stand the test of time. It's a game that brought the series to new heights, earning its place in the top 3. It's also a personal favourite of both me and Tom, and also the only Civilization we've ever played in multiplayer together. Civilization IV is often hailed as one of the greatest strategy games of all time, and for good reason. Released in 2005, it took everything that worked in the previous entries and refined it, adding a rich layer of depth and polish that captivated players for years. With its deep gameplay, excellent AI, and memorable soundtrack, Civ IV set a new standard for the series. On the pro side, the game had extremely balanced gameplay with a perfect blend of complexity and accessibility, with deep strategic options that never felt overwhelming. Finally, we find a robust AI. The AI in Civ IV is among the best in the series, providing a challenging and rewarding experience without feeling unfair or erratic. There was an expanded cultural victory system, and of course the game's soundtrack, particularly the Grammy-winning title track Baba Yetu, is one of the most beloved in gaming history, adding to the game's immersive atmosphere. However, looking back on the con side, the graphics are still a little dated, but do stand up today. There's a steep learning curve, and like many Civ games, the late game really does slow down to a grind. Overall, however, Civilization IV is a masterpiece of strategy gaming, offering a deep, balanced, and endlessly replayable experience that many players still regard as the pinnacle of the series. It's only really my childhood which is going to mess this list up for some people. And finally, we get to the top of this list with Civilization II, which is the game that truly established the series as a titan in the strategy genre. And it's the game that our dad bought for us as kids, and we spent pretty much a whole afternoon in his office at work just looking and reading the box. And the excitement we got out of that was absolutely crazy by today's standards, but such great memories. Released in 1996, it took the foundation laid by the original Civilization and expanded it in every way, introducing a more complex and engaging experience that would define the series for years to come. With improved graphics, deeper gameplay, and a host of new features, Civ II became an instant classic and remains a favourite among many fans. So if you're wondering why Civ IV doesn't top the list, you gotta blame my childhood. The pros of this title is that it had massively expanded gameplay with new units, governments, and technologies, adding layers of strategy and variety that made each playthrough unique. The switch to an isometric perspective was a significant visual upgrade, making the world feel more immersive and easier to navigate. A personal favourite of both me and Tom, and something we still miss today, is the Wonder movies. The inclusion of full motion videos for Wonders was a memorable touch, adding a sense of accomplishment and grandeur to the game. And of course, with a vast array of strategies and outcomes, Civ II offered a nearly endless replayability. However, if we're going to be critical, and I don't really want to be, but I'm going to try, there's an aging interface here that might be hard for modern fans to adjust to. There's also a number of AI exploits where it wasn't competent, and of course there's dated graphics. Civilization II is a game that took the series to new heights, combining deep strategic gameplay with an accessible interface and endless replayability. Or it was just a favourite of my childhood, and that's why I've elevated it to this status, and you can let me know what you think in the comments below. However, I still felt it set the standard for what a Civilization game could be, and remains a beloved entry in the series to this day. Its impact on the genre and its lasting appeal make it our top pick in the Civilization series. And there you have it, my ranking of every mainline Civilization game, from the groundbreaking original Civilization to the iconic Civilization II and the more recent Civilization VI. This series has continually evolved, offering strategy fans countless hours of enjoyment over the years. While my list reflects my personal experience and preferences, I know that every Civilization fan has their own favourite entry that holds a special place in their heart. Whether you agree with my ranking or have your own take, the beauty of the Civilization series lies in its ability to offer something for everyone, from newcomers to veteran strategists. Civilization VII is on the horizon, and I'm excited to see where the series goes next. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this video and that it inspires you to revisit your favourite Civ game or even try one you've never played before. Thanks for watching, and as always, I've been Luke from LT Gaming, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Not at all similar are the race of the immortal gods and the race of men who walk upon the earth.